If you're a parent, you already know this. The social world our kids are growing up in is just completely different from the one we had. And one of the biggest challenges today is cyberbullying. So, in this explainer, we're going to break it down. We're going to give you the tools you need to understand what's happening, recognize the signs, and really support your child through their digital lives.
You know, this quote just hits so hard because it's the absolute truth. Bullying used to stop at the school gates, right? But now, it's relentless. It can be on their phone first thing in the morning and last thing at night. There's just no escape.
So to really get a handle on this, we have to understand the environment where it all goes down. And this isn't about counting screen time minutes. It's about seeing the digital space for what it actually is to our kids. It's their main social playground.
For us, maybe our online and offline lives feel pretty separate. But for our kids, there's really no line between them. Their friendships, their arguments, their social status, it all just flows back and forth between the school hallway and the group chat. Their digital life is their social life. It's where they connect with friends, it's where they create things, and, unfortunately, it's where they can get incredibly hurt.
Okay, so now that we've kind of set the scene, let's get really specific. What are we actually talking about when we use the word cyberbullying? Because knowing what to look for, well, that's the first step to being able to help.
So here's the basic definition, and you'll notice it's pretty broad. And that's on purpose. Cyberbullying isn't just one single thing. It's any kind of harassment that happens on a digital device, and it can pop up on any app, any game, or any platform your kid is using.
And this list shows you exactly how it can play out. I mean, some of these are old school tactics in a new school format, like spreading rumors, but others are totally unique to this digital world. Take being left out of a group chat on purpose. To us, that might not sound like a big deal, but for a teenager, that is a very public, very painful way of being excluded. The same goes for ganging up on someone in an online game. It takes a place that's supposed to be fun and turns it into a source of real anxiety.
And this is why this is so tricky, right? Because cyberbullying usually doesn't leave any physical marks. The wounds are all emotional, they're psychological, and that makes them so much harder for a parent to see. So you really have to learn to spot the changes in their behavior.
And make no mistake, the scale of this problem is huge. Just look at this number. 1 out of every 3 young people says they've been cyberbullied. This isn't some rare thing. It's become a common, awful part of growing up today, which is why we, as parents, have to be paying attention.
And here's the part that's just heartbreaking. Even though it's so common, the vast majority of kids will not tell an adult what's going on. They might feel ashamed, or they're afraid that telling someone will just make everything worse. And that's why we can't always wait for them to come to us. We have to learn to see the signs ourselves.
So these are the red flags. Is your child suddenly way more anxious or withdrawn than usual? Are they trying to get out of going to school or avoiding social things they used to love? Have you noticed their sleep patterns are off or they're eating differently? These aren't just teen moods. They can be real signs that something much deeper is wrong.
It's the question every parent asks, why wouldn't you just tell me? Well, their fear is usually 2 things. First, they're worried the bully will find out they told and the attacks will get even worse. And second, they are terrified that our solution is going to be to just take away their phone or their computer. And to them, that's not a solution. That's like cutting them off from their entire social world.
Okay, so we know the problem, we know the warning signs. Now for the most important part. What can you actually do? Let's walk through a really clear, step-by-step plan for how to support your child if they're being targeted.
Think of this as your roadmap, and notice that step 1 isn't about taking action, it's about listening. Let them talk, don't judge, and make sure they know you believe them and you're on their side. The next steps are all about calmly taking back control. It's not about fighting back, it's about documenting everything and then using the tools, like blocking and reporting, to shut the bully's access down. This shows your child that they have power in this situation. And remember, the school can be and should be your partner in this.
You know, this is another really important conversation to have with your kids about what to do when they see someone else being bullied. You can encourage them to be an ally. They don't have to jump in and confront the bully. Sometimes, as this quote says, just sending a private message to the person being targeted, saying something like, "Hey, I saw that. Are you okay?" That can completely break that feeling of isolation and mean the world to them.
Now, we have to talk about something that's a lot harder. Sometimes, in this confusing digital landscape, it might be our kid who is the one doing the bullying. And that is a really tough conversation to have, but it's an absolutely necessary one.
This is a great way to frame that conversation because it helps separate their intent from the actual impact. Your child might say, "Come on, it was just a joke," but you can help them understand that the impact on the other person was humiliation. They might say, "But everyone was doing it,"
but the impact was making someone feel totally alone. This helps you get past the excuses and talk about the real harm their words caused.
And really, this is the message we have to drive home again and again. The screen creates this distance, this buffer, that makes it so easy to forget that you're talking to a real human being. We have to constantly teach and reinforce empathy, reminding them that their words and their posts have real-world consequences and can cause pain that lasts long after they've scrolled past. So, where do we go from here? The answer to preventing this, to intervening when it happens, to supporting our kids through it, it all starts in the exact same place. It starts with you.
At the end of the day, the apps will change, the technology will change, but the foundation of trust you build with your child, that's what really matters. Talk to them about their online life all the time, not just when there's a problem. The more they feel like they can come to you without being judged or punished, the more likely they are to actually come to you when they really truly need help.
And so, that's the question we'll leave you with. This isn't about being the tech police. It's about being a parent in the world we live in now. You have the framework. You have the tools. The single most important step you can take is the one that happens after this explainer is over. Just starting the conversation.